Now, we can't sort of not talk to Dave Jackson without mentioning your unusual delivery style of yours.
Yeah,
Dave.
my unusual delivery. Mr. Cairns called me filth, actually, for it. But anyway, it's not a long story, really.
Well, for the listeners who've not seen Dave bowl, he actually plays right-handed Dave and delivers with his left foot on the mat. Perhaps, Dave, you can sort of tell the listeners the reason for this.
Yeah, well, what happened was I've always been a very keen football player. Bowls was something I did and played team, but I played football for Rochdale Football Club straight from school for 3 years. Played in the reserve side, never got in the first team. Thought I was going to be a professional footballer, and never made the grade. Anyway, carried on playing football up until 37, and got a slight pain in my groin. Thinking, oh, what's this? Went to the doctor, said you've got severe arthritis of the left hip. That was 96. 3 years later, I played in the Isle of Man tournament in 1998 and actually won the tournament, but hobbling across the green, getting worse, was affecting my life. I went to the specialist and said, look, I can't put up with this anymore. It's driving me mad, it's affecting my life, my job, everything. And he said, that's it. Put me on a waiting list to have a total hip replacement. And I was on the waiting list 8 months, had the hip replaced. But what he did say to me, I told him I was I like playing crown green bowls. He said, deliver off the other foot. And I said, what do you mean? And he showed me, and it was a Polish professor at Wrightington Hospital in Wigan that operated on me and said, deliver off the other foot. And I said, what do you mean? And he showed me, and I thought, what's a Polish fella showing me how to deliver a bowl? And he said, well, obviously, it's a bowling disease or whatever it was. And anyway, I had it replaced, started putting my left foot on the mat and going forward with my right, but obviously delivering with my right hand, and probably because of who I was. I mean, people couldn't understand what was going on, but there's probably about 200 people in the crown green world that do this, but they only play league bowling and social bowling and things like that.
Yeah.
And basically, it was just like learning to read or write or drive a car again. I had to do it because bowling is when you bend down, it's a motion, and you just have to literally deliver the bowl. And when I tried it normally, it would not let me do it. I was sanctioned by British Crown Green. I was checked upon. I always remember my first game with the county. Referee came up to me and said, why are you delivering off the other foot? I said, I've got a certificate. He took me to my car. I showed him the certificate. He said, say no more, and nobody's ever asked me since. But I do get the odd moan about it when I beat people, but nobody that beats me ever moans about it. I can't understand that one.
No, that's right. No,
and that is it, really, Lynn. It's something I have to do. I can't do it the other way, or else I wouldn't be able to bowl competitively.
No.
So it's something I have to do, and I've just perfected it. And probably people say I deliver a bowl better this way than I used to do. But I won things bowling normally, and I've won things bowling the other way.
Yeah.
I realistically, I mean, people say it's hard to follow, but I have to follow everybody else. I don't use it to my advantage. I put my proper foot on the mat.
That's right.
I just basically get on with it again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I've played you many times, Dave, and to be honest, you know more difficult or easy to bowl than anybody else.
I've played Gary, Graham, Lee Lawton. I've played them all. They've beaten me, and I've beaten them, and they never complain. They never moan about it. They just get on with the game.
Yeah, exactly. That's
The
right.
people who do moan are the people that you get beat by. But I'm assuring them now that it's something I had to do. And if anybody out there is struggling or has an operation like that, anybody wants to speak to me about. I mean, Andy Buckley went through a very similar thing, and I got him in touch with my specialist, and he had his hip replaced. But unfortunately, Andy Buckley went back to bowling normally, and I believe he's got problems again because you're also putting a lot of pressure on your hip, and your hips are more important than bowls. And I mean, I don't know. I've not spoken to Andy for a while, but I mean, Andy's a friend of mine, and good luck to him. And I hope he sorts it out. I mean, it's a bit different to me. I think he's had a hip problem for a few years, but I did get him sorted out.
Yeah, good. Well, I admire you, Dave, for doing what you've done. Other people probably would have packed up or, not bother playing, but you've stuck at it, and you've proved, you're one of the top class players we've got in the game, and bowl extremely well. So all I can say is good luck to you, mate.
Just while we're on the subject, I mean, I do listen to your show when you're on monthly, or I listen to the recordings when I can't make it. I'd just like to thank you, Paul, and Mel. I mean, it's a great show. I mean, I love listening to people like Arthur Murray, who I know very well, and Stan Frith, and people like that, whose knowledge of the game is immense. And, people like Chris Morrison now. I mean, he's. I don't know if you've had Chris on your show. His knowledge, and even Roy Armstrong.
Yeah.
These guys' knowledge is fantastic. They know so much, and
That's
the stories they can tell you are very, very interesting and really worth listening to. But thanks again, it's a great show.
Thank you very much, Dave. It's a pleasure. I mean, we'd hope it comes over for professionally and people enjoy it. We are sort of just amateurs at this kind of thing, but we spend time putting things together, and I hope our enthusiasm for the game comes over in the shows and the people that we have on and talk to, and we love it as much as, as long as people out there want to listen to what we can offer, then we'll carry on doing it.
The game, whether it be your website, the Stockport website is run by Peter Conway, who does a marvellous job.
He does,
He doesn't get much recognition for the work he does.
No.
He does a marvellous job.
That's
so
right.
does Jeff Russell. So does Jimmy, and the 21 Up website is a good website.
Yeah.
It's good fun, as long as they don't go too overboard on some of the things.
That's right,
I know Mr. Holden might be listening, but Mike's a good friend of mine and give me a lot of support when I won the Waterloo, and if he is listening, he's a good mate of mine.
He is.
My brother well.
He does normally listen on a Sunday evening.
He's a controversial guy, and people like that. You leave it on websites as long as they don't go too far.
Yes, exactly. That's right. So how long has it been that your delivery's been like this, Dave? In total number of years?
What, with my hip? Going back to my hip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's. I had it done in the year 2000, not soon after I won the Isle of Man. I've been doing it now. I always relate it to my hip replacement to how I've been doing it and how well I've been doing. But it's been nearly. It's actually in August. It'll be 10 years exactly. And it's been brilliant. And I mean, I see a lot of people struggle across bowling greens.
Yeah.
And, I can only recommend it. I mean, mine was 10 years ago, and I feel brilliant now, and it's still going strong. And touch wood, may it continue, because I worry every time I get a twinge or anything, and it is a worry. It is a worry, but I would recommend anybody that's worried about it, get it done, because you can walk, you can play golf, you can bowl again.
That's right, yeah.
You can, do different styles of bowling when you've got a disability, and it's classed as a disability. I know people look at me and think, well, he's got no disability, what's wrong with him? But no, it's just the fact that I had a very good professor operate on me. He's retired now, but he did a very good job, and like I said, anybody that's thinking, wants to speak to me about it and how I combat it, I mean, by all means, give me a call, and you can get in touch with me, and I would gladly help anybody out that's got a problem with that.
Well, that's useful, Dave, yeah. I mean, it must have taken, obviously, hours of practice and dedication for you to get used to what is a really complete change of style.
12 months, and I always remember I played a guy in Warrington the first time I ever played, and it was in a Brother Cup game, and I lost 21-19, and I thought, well, I'm going to persevere at this, and the rest is history, really. Like I say, I've won things delivering normally, and I've won things delivering off the other foot, as they say.
Excellent. Well, Dave, I have to say it's a pleasure speaking to you, as always.
Yep.
And thank you very much for joining us on Talking Bowls Radio. I'd just like to wish you all the very best for the rest of the season.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll see one another and meet up round a green.
Yep.
And who knows, might play one another again, and I guess it's probably your turn this
time.
Sure,
we will, Lynn, and I'm sure it's definitely my turn. You won the last two, and no, it's definitely my turn.
Oh, right, okay.
I think I prefer to play Mel these days, actually, because you like these men's competitions. And
I do.
I think you do very well on the quiet.
I do, yeah. One of my, I've had a lot of ambitions in the game, which I've been lucky enough to fulfil a lot of them in the ladies' game. But I'm turning my attentions to the open events now, and I've won a couple, as you know, and come close in a couple of finals. But I've got a bit of an ambition. It's probably going to be a bit controversial, this, but
go on.
I want to win a men's champion of champions sweep qualifier. and see what the BCGBA do, whether I'll be allowed to play or not.
I don't think it'll be too long in coming.
So, a pleasure speaking to you, Dave, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.